Hello, my name is Chris Vick. I am an author of several books for young people. Most recently, that one, Girl, Boy, See. Um, and today I'm going to be talking about my new book, which is just out, which is this one, The Last the Last Whale, as you can see, rather beautiful hardback. I'm going to talk a bit about that and also do a very short reading from it. I've got a couple of questions to answer. The first of which is what inspired the story? Where do you get your ideas from for book is one of the questions that authors get asked a lot. And the reality is there's no one simple answer. It's a sort of range of different influences and ideas and things you're really passionate about and interested in coming together and somehow magically, we hope, coalescing into some kind of story. So with this one, Last Whale, it was a range of things. First of all, you won't be at all surprised to hear me say whales. Of course, I worked in whale. I still work a bit in whale conservation, but I worked in whale conservation for quite a long time, and I've seen lots of amazing whales in all kinds of corners of the world, and there's something really magical about whales, which you get a sense of, I think, when you see them on the TV, but when you see them kind of nature in the raw, it's just an amazing experience. So I really wanted to write about that and to try and capture some of that magic and mystery. I'm half Norwegian. I've got a family who have a whaling background, so I'm sort of, quite a mix of these different whale conservation, whaling history, and I wanted to write about that a bit. And actually, a lot of the action is set in Norway, on the islands, one of my favourite places in the world that I've been lucky enough to visit a couple of times. The future, and two big things that I think are going to be really the biggest changes ever, really, in human history. One is climate change, which I'll talk about in a minute. One is climate change, and the other one is artificial intelligence and computing, and how fast that's evolving, and how that could be something, if we're smart, that we could really use uh, to help us save the system, the life support system that we all rely on. That's the Earth, in case you're wondering what I'm talking about. So all of those things were real influences. Second question is, what are the main themes, drivers of the story? The science of whale conservation. So it's called The Last Whale, and it's about what happens if, when the whales really reduce and we get down to the last whale. So one of the things we've been looking at whale and dolphin conservation, where I have worked for a long time, is the importance of whales in the ecosystem, and particularly with carbon. So phytoplankton absorb 40% of the carbon that we produce. That's huge, something between 35 and 40%. Huge, huge amount. Phytoplankton need whale poo. Okay, they need whale poo. They thrive on whale poo because whales eat things at different depths and just spread all these nutrients throughout the world. So we really need whales, and if they disappear, there could just be a real catastrophic effect. So that was a real theme. There's also a theme about eco-activism in there. There's an organisation in it who the main hero, Abby, is a member of, called Earth Crisis, which is a little bit like Extinction Rebellion, I suppose. And there's really a theme there of responsibility and when it's okay to rebel and when it's not okay to rebel, and what are the things that we need to do. So it's about individual responsibility and behavior and action. So in the second half of the book, which is set in the future, Abby's daughter Tonya has been living with Abby on an island in the middle of the Atlantic, because that's where they think is the optimum place to find whales. And as the Earth systems are collapsing, they've been searching for whales, and they've had no luck. But then one day, so this chapter, it's the beginning of part 2, is called The Lighthouse. Tonya climbs the spiral steps 2 at a time until she reaches the lamp room. She grabs the binoculars hanging round her neck and scans the horizon, but seeing nothing more than white horse waves and diving gulls, she sighs. I did, I thought. She turns to the half-metre high cube that sits on the dais where the lighthouse lamp once shone. Moonlight, awake. The cube transforms in an instant, changing from night black to sunlit sea. Waves ripple across her surfaces. The crash of waves sings from her core. Check west for whales, Tonya says. I shall. There are no whales, Tonya. Oh, Mooney, are you sure? I scanned data from the hydrophones and underwater cameras. If a whale had been in the area, I would have alerted you. Okay, Tonya says. Use quantum computing, please. That is not a good decision. The power, Tonya. What would your mother say? Tonya weighs the choices. Quant mode uses a lot of juice. But if she finds a whale, what would Moore say then? And then it goes on to explore whether or not they do find a whale and whether or not that is in fact the last whale. Thank you.